Hello, my name is Tanya. I live in a forest and I'm really good at failing at things, but not as good at succeeding at things. And in this video today, I'm going to do a little bit of sewing. Then I'm going to have a little bit of an existential crisis, talk about it, and then I'm going to show you a quilt top that I made right at the very end. Stay tuned. I have just finished ironing all the 36 blocks for the green quilt. Now they're all finished and I feel like I should feel more excitement because it's a big deal. I was bored out of my skull with those things. I was looking forward to finishing this part of the process, but now it's done and it doesn't feel like anything at all because obviously what I think about is the next step and the next step and the next step, what's happening and after that, and I feel like I don't celebrate the little wins enough. Like, this is a lot of work, and I watch all the channels of the quilters who do this all day, every day, and they're like, oh, I only made one quilt this week. Like, oh, how did you do a quilt in a week? It took me months and it's not even finished. And I just feel like I should be grateful more. Next step in the process is obviously designing the quilt, and I need to take my blocks and lay them out and see what kind of layouts I would prefer. In order to do that, fancy people have design walls, and I don't have a design wall because I live in a mansard. One of the many downsides of living in a mansard is that I don't have a lot of vertical wall space. As you can see, probably no walls. No walls. And I'm not sure if it's going to fit on the floor, so I'm going to do something different and be creative. There we go. This quilt isn't wide enough, but I think it's going to do. Designing a quilt requires a lot of sitting down, taking pictures, looking at pictures, and then standing up and rearranging the whole thing. I think I'm done now. It's a lot more classic and dull than I imagined, but I think it works. This is pretty much when I stopped filming for the week, even though I continue to work on the quilt. I work on two quilts at the same time, as you do, and I was just sitting with this thought, well, why I'm not celebrating the accomplishments that I do, even though maybe these accomplishments aren't that big, but they're worth celebrating still. I would recommend to my best friend to celebrate. if I was in that position. But it just feels like nothing happened, even though I've worked on something for months and now it's done and I don't feel anything. I thought that maybe I'm not the only person who has this problem, and I was thinking about why this might be happening, and I have some conclusions that I'm going to share with you now. And the first thing that came to mind is that I don't feel worthy of celebrating the accomplishment because, well, I made a quilt top. I say to myself, I made a quilt top. And then a voice in my head says, yeah, but have you finished the quilt? The answer is no. I have something else to do. I have something else to finish, and well, the quilt isn't finished, so there's nothing to celebrate. Even though it's a big part of the process and now it's done, I'm not celebrating. I'm just thinking about what's the next thing on the list. What's the next thing that I can do? What's the thing that I can get done? And I just didn't even feel an urge to celebrate the victory. I was just, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this thing and then the next thing. And then I stopped myself. Well, actually, it's quite a big deal. I should sit with this. So that was feeling like I haven't done enough to celebrate because this win is too small. Maybe I shouldn't pay a lot of attention to it. I should think about bigger things. That's the first thing. The next one is that I actually don't have a lot of practice with celebrating my accomplishments, because when I was a little girl that didn't happen. It was just like, well, if I'm doing a good job, then obviously I'm doing a good job, just business as usual. When I'm failing, that's something that we would kind of have a ritual about. When I'm failing, there's something has to be done. It's a problem that needs to be fixed. When I'm doing well, nothing needs to be done. So nothing is done. And it's not, I don't think that's a cultural thing here in Russia. It's more of a family thing in the family. But I think that it can be common in Russia to kind of look over accomplishments and to look into failures a lot. That's why I'm good at failing. I'm excellent, actually. I fail like it's not a big deal. I know what to do. I know my routines. When I'm failing, I'm doing great. When I'm winning, I'm also doing great, but I'm not doing anything. I'm not acknowledging the fact that I won because it's just a normal Tuesday. And that's wrong. I think that's harmful, and the biggest thing that I'm used to doing for myself when I'm achieving something great is I would take myself out to dinner and maybe eat something nice, and that's why I look the way I look. And so second point is practice. I need to practice appreciating my own accomplishments the way some people practice gratitude. It's something that I should just remind myself to do and think, well, have I done anything good today? Have I finished anything this week? Is there something to be grateful for to myself this period of time? And maybe learn to treat myself in ways that don't involve food. That's a problem for another day. But yes, that's the second conclusion, that I thought I don't have practice because in my family accomplishments were often overlooked because they're not that important. The third thing that I came up with is that I'm always doubting whether or not I'm doing the right thing. Like, I've spent a lot of time and energy and money on a quilt top. I made a quilt top. It's a hobby that I do. I do this for fun. I do this for pleasure. So it's not the most useful of activities that I could be doing, yet it takes a lot of time. I could spend this time and this energy on other, more useful things that would bring money to the house, that would maybe further my career, that would, I don't know, be more social, because I have no social life, and doing something for being around people is always a good thing, and sitting at a sewing machine is a very lonesome thing to do. It's not very fun. It's not very people-y. So I could do a bunch of different things that would be objectively a little bit more useful than making a quilt. Yet I've chosen to spend my time on this thing. And there's always this thing, well, I have accomplished something in an area that I probably shouldn't be doing. So is this a win? Am I winning? If I'm doing the wrong thing. If I'm winning at the wrong thing, is this a win? Or is this just a waste of time? That's the third problem that I have. And this line of thinking I have obviously inherited from my mother, because every time when I did something that I liked doing and she didn't approve of, because I wasn't really allowed to be creative when I was a child, I was encouraged to do things that would be more useful. So every time I did something impressive that was creative, there would be this, oh, that's cool, but why didn't you spend this time doing that thing instead? So that's just childhood trauma as it is. But yeah, I don't have any solutions, I only have thoughts. And maybe somebody else has a similar problem, like, how do we start just appreciating ourselves more? So what are your thoughts? Do you have thoughts? Have you finished watching this thing? Let me know what you think. And now I'm going to go out and put this quilt top somewhere nice and take some videos. And next week I'll see you with something else.